What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a good day. Market is finally up. The coin I covered yesterday is way up as well. We'll get to all that in a sec. First, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button in the corner of the screen if you enjoy the content. Remember, you can also always skip around using the timestamps in the bottom description area beneath each video. Let's dive in. So yeah, yesterday I covered Cold Dao. It's my altcoin pick of the week. I've been a fan of them for a while. I'm following the project for about 2 months now. I'm very bullish on it. So first, the video getting a lot of traction here. Way more views and a lot more comments than usual. Non-spam comments, actual legit comments. So yeah, video's definitely getting some traction. People seem to be a big fan of Cold Dao. Coin performed very well. It's up about 27% on the day, and then yesterday and the time I posted, so when I posted the video, it was at about 0.013, and then it went up to 0.019 at the peak. So it's about 46% run up at the peak of the day, and then finished the day up about 35%. Right now it's up about 27% since then. So yeah, definitely good performance there. I've obviously not quite as high as STEPN in the 192%. Up in the 24 hours after I posted that video. It's kind of hard to top this here. And the STEPN, they were also a buy on the dip opportunity when I posted that video. Cold Dao wasn't, but STEPN, the price was way below its sort of efficient level right there, just due to the whole market being down significantly that day. Cold Dao, as you can see, here's a 1 month chart. It's kind of just been sort of flat lately, so it was not a buy. The price was not being suppressed due to non-fundamentally sound reasons. The price was just at the normal level, so the peak price today, it's going to be high, not quite as high as a coin like STEPN, where it's also trading well below its efficient level just due to non-fundamentally sound reasons. So yeah, and then also Cold Dao, they put out a lot of announcements, partnerships yesterday, a lot of activity going on there. They just yesterday, after posting the video, they revealed their new billboard in Times Square. They had one previously. This one is much bigger. Looks like it's right in the heart of Times Square. There are tons of people around, so it's pretty big. Small altcoin getting a huge billboard there. It's a lot of traction, a lot of faces seeing that every day. They also announced there'll be a diamond sponsor at ETH Barcelona in a couple weeks. Not sure if a diamond sponsor is just like a billboard sponsor at the event, or if they actually have a desk, a promotional table. If they do, that'll be interesting. Will Mr. Modulus be showing up in his mask and distorted voice? Will the other team members be showing up in their masks and distorted voices? Who knows? I'm assuming it's probably just a billboard sponsor, the diamond sponsor. But regardless, that's good exposure. Either way, they also yesterday announced they're being listed on DroidX. It's a small, decentralized exchange, and there's a lot of buzz happening that they might be listed on OKX pretty soon. I guess they're in talks with OKX. OKX wants a certain amount of liquidity in Cold on the exchange before they officially announce it, but it definitely appears like this is going to happen pretty soon, possibly any day. OKX is huge. I believe they're the number 2 biggest trading exchange in Asia, so that would be getting a lot of the retail Asia crowd. And then also Cold Dao announced the Revolt token. That's their spin-off token designed to it's for the ecosystem managers, community members who run the ecosystem. They put out their tokenomics. The coin is being released shortly. The tokenomics I haven't looked at it in detail yet, but the tokenomics got very favorable reviews from the community. Mr. Modulus saying he's not Revolt. He might put it on the Polygon network, BSC network. He's not going to put it on the Ethereum network like their main token. So he's decided between either Polygon or Binance Smart Chain. And then also related to Cold Dao, as I covered briefly yesterday in the video, Ryoshi, the Shiba Inu founder, just deleted all of his social media posts. Yesterday announced he's stepping away from that community. So could be, most people, especially myself, we believe that Ryoshi and Mr. Modulus are the same person. So translation might be that, Mr. Modulus / Ryoshi, they're focusing all their attention on Cold Dao now and not splitting their time between 2 projects the way a lot of founders do. So if that is true, which I think it is, then that's extremely bullish for Cold Dao since it's getting 100% of its attention going forward. So that is great news for Cold Dao. The Ryoshi now, it probably won't have that. I think that was already sort of priced into their huge 400 times increase in early April there. So it probably won't have that big of an effect on the price as opposed to all the developments. I think the developments I mentioned, I think those will have a greater effect on the price. The Ryoshi buzz that was priced in here, but still, I think it's very, very good news. Alrighty, let's head into the market. See, everything's green. Bitcoin up 3%. All the blockchains, all the altcoins are up. Cardano a big 11%. And this just came out today. Bitcoin outperforms major tech stocks by an average of 12% in the last 30 days. So this is good. The decoupling has happened. I covered this last week, how this shows the NASDAQ composite on the top, Bitcoin on the bottom. So after the Terra Luna disaster, Bitcoin tanked. It didn't affect the NASDAQ composite, which is kind of surprising since the NASDAQ composite has most of the tech stocks. So even though it was a negative correlation, I was pumped because you do not want it correlated with any major stock index because Bitcoin always outperforms the major stock indexes. So they're being correlated, then it's going to stop outperforming it. So even though the negative correlation was a price decrease relative to the NASDAQ, I was very happy when this happened. And that proved justified because then, I guess, taking into account yesterday and the day before's pumps, and maybe part of today's too, Bitcoin during the last 30 days outperformed the NASDAQ and all the other stocks by 12%. So that shows the NASDAQ composite price didn't really perform that well over the last 30 days, and then combined with Bitcoin's exceptional performance in the last 2 days to sort of outweigh the negative price movement of the Luna disaster. Those are the two factors at work. I guess Facebook had a really bad month. It outperformed Facebook by 46%, outperformed all these other top 6 tech stocks by amounts closer to 10 to 20%. This also came out, that Martini guy, so he noticed in his Twitter account yesterday and today, his follower count went down 1,000 to 2,000 overnight. He suspects that these are bots being cleared out. I had read a couple other Twitter accounts also said this or noticed that in the last day. So yeah, I would agree. This does sound like bots are being removed by Twitter. And then that Martini guy said, I suspect this because they're clearing out the bots to sell Twitter to Elon. I would agree completely. When an acquisition happens, so there's the negotiation period. When Twitter and Elon were negotiating a few weeks ago, there's the negotiation period. Companies then set a price, but there's always a 30-day due diligence period where then both sides can go into further due diligence on the other side, and then unless they uncover something that they don't like, then the acquisition goes through. So clearly during the due diligence phase, Elon, found some stuff about the bots and the numbers that he didn't really like, but it wasn't quite enough of a problem for the transaction to not go through. So it does sound like between this and then between the Twitter settling their lawsuit for $150 million over private data last week, it does sound like they're sort of resolving all their old disputes. And this definitely looks like, yes, the acquisition is going to go through. I'm not sure at the same price or not, but it definitely looks like the acquisition is going to go through. Back to the markets. So Shiba Inu was flat on the day because of the Ryoshi stepping down news. Usually these kind of announcements about a founder stepping down, a lot of times it takes a while for it to kick in. Obviously with the Phantom issue, it was an immediate plummet. But then like when Charlie Lee sold his Litecoin shares in December 2017, that immediately didn't have quite an effect. But then that did end up being the price peak of Litecoin. It has not gotten near that price since then, so it kind of took a while for that negative news to kick in. So that doesn't mean that Shiba's going to go down, but I think the Ryoshi news just kind of didn't quite have an immediate impact, but it is something to watch out for going forward. Waves. So I did not notice this in the last couple days. I had discussed Waves, how they had been a slow-moving death spiral going to around $60 a token to $4 a token in 2 months. But they've actually recovered significantly in the last 2 or 3 days. Went up 120% since May 29th. And it's 2 days. And then today they're up 33%. So they just quietly have apparently gotten their shit together. So what's going on? Well, on one hand, so a lot of it's this here. Their Tsunami testnet is launching. That's a derivatives market launching on the Waves platform. That got a lot of attention. Then this here, so listen to this. the Waves Lab team is expanding. You have a chance to become part of it. We are hiring a head of community, a ecosystem marketing manager, a head of content, a product marketing manager. Basically, their whole marketing department is being replaced. That's pretty much the entire marketing department. I would have to guess this is kind of similar to the Terra Legal team resigning. The Waves marketing team apparently just couldn't take the daily bloodbath that was likely occurring in Twitter and the Telegram groups. That's just my guess. So they're being replaced. The market responded very well to that news, though. And also, their stablecoin Neutrino has been depegged twice, but it has recovered. It's at 97 cents. But the Waves founder, I haven't really gone into this yet in detail, but he has released a new plan to sort of keep the peg stable going forward and bring more liquidity to the USDN pool. That's Neutrino. I'm going to look into this in more detail later on, but this proposal apparently has gotten good reviews from the market. Obviously, it's much more of a long-term thing. Will it be successful in keeping the Neutrino peg price stable? We shall see, but the market responded positively so far. STEPN did not have quite a good day, so they were down 2%, and then their in-app token GST down 18%. So I covered this the other day, so this seems less about the China news. Both the tokens kind of went down 4 or 5 days ago, and China banned it, but only 5% of the users are from China. See, here's the GST chart. So this is not good. This is their chart over their lifetime, so it's just gone up steadily, everything's great, and then just gone down off a cliff from $8 to $1 currently. It's the exact same thing that happened with Axie Infinity and their in-game token Smooth Love Potion. So what is going on here? Well, on the Reddit boards, this user didn't really word this correctly, but he made some interesting points and put up some interesting graphs we'll get to in a sec. So he says it's a supply and demand issue. He's looked at the charts, and then new users are just not joining as frequently as new shoes are being minted in the app. So when you sign up to use the app, in order to start running and earning tokens, you have to buy new NFT sneakers. You have to mint new NFT sneakers. He's looked at the charts, and he's found that just many more sneakers are being minted than new users are coming, which would translate to the hardcore regular users are continuing to use the app and buy new sneakers, but new users are just not signing up, and the casual existing users are dropping off and selling their GST tokens. They're just not minting any new shoes because they're not using the app anymore. So let's look at the charts, see if it backs it up. So I don't know if you can see this with my head. Let's move my head there. Okay. So here's STEPN's active users in the last 90 days, new and existing. Red is their existing daily users, and then blue is the new users. So you can see it was gaining significantly until about 4 or 5 days ago, and then both have gone down significantly since then at around equal sort of drops, the new users and the existing users. The users are just dropping off. So apparently this is not related to China, even though the timing was exactly 4 or 5 days ago. But if the team says that only 5% of their users are from China, then I believe that. So this just apparently is unrelated. But, so anyway, so this shows that new and existing users peaked, plateaued 4 or 5 days ago, and gone down significantly since then. Now let's look at this chart here. So here's the new shoes being minted daily, and it also peaked 4 or 5 days ago and has gone down since then, but not nearly at the rates that the users have been dropping off. So this does correlate perfectly to what this Reddit user said, that basically new users and the very casual existing users are just not using the app anymore, but new shoes are still being minted at a pretty good pace, but since the decrease was much less so, it means that the hardcore users are continually using the app. They're not dropping off. They're continuing to mint new shoes, but it is a bad sign that new users are apparently just not signing up the way they used to be. So this is definitely something to go forward, to watch going forward. Move this back down here, and then so like crypto, some of the charts you have to kind of take with a grain of salt. Like CryptoRank platform, right? They put out very good charts, very good research data. I pay strict attention to them usually, but like this is sort of misleading. So they put this out today or yesterday. Said over the past month, the number of daily users has increased 192% for STEPN, and it's at a daily active high. So this is true. Over the past month, the run-up was huge, as this showed right here. See, it went up considerably, but the CryptoRank stat does not really take into account. So that 192% is correct over the 30-day period. Yes, it did increase 192%, and 5 days ago it was at its all-time peak. But the stat chart does not reflect the fact that the last 4 or 5 days the numbers have gone down significantly. So there's all stuff to watch for going forward. Remember, part of it is the community. So STEPN does have a great community. A lot of people, just very active in their social groups, Twitter, Telegram. So that price reflections are mostly the community and more so that than the user stats. So maybe the price won't have too much of a negative effect that we shall see. That's it for now. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I will be back tomorrow with a new episode. Ben Crypto signing out. Later.